But the guy that shot the plane down to stop him from exposing, that bad guy's wife was actually having an affair with the guy who was going to expose him. And so now she's stuck in the middle of this, and she's trying to get all the pieces to prove that her husband was behind the thing. I'm having a really hard time with this. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff Porter from Cinema Reactor. Today, diving back into that Seagal pit. This might be the most confusing one that we've done so far. Today we're talking about 2003's The Foreigner. According to IMDb, a freelance agent must transport a package for a mysterious employer, leading him into a web of betrayal and deceit. I really do not know where to begin with this film because none of it makes sense. And it's really hard to follow. Like, I turned it on, I started watching it, and I was kind of like half paying attention, and I was just gone. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to watch this movie. I'm going to do nothing else. None of it makes sense. So it starts off with Seagal being asked to carry a package. A package. This is what we hear throughout the entire film. The package. Don't open the package. It's like Transporter, but awful, because Seagal all he has to do is transport this package to Germany. That's it. He drops it off in an address. That's all it's supposed to be. Of course, it's never that easy. First, we end up at a lady's farmhouse where he's supposed to make this trade, pick up the package from these people who just don't have tongues. We gloss over that fact.
I understand you have something for me?
What is it?
Your tongues are cut out.
Never talk about it again. Okay, so he picks up the package, then boom, they get jumped by some Danish people. Those Danes, damn Danes, who come out of nowhere. And then we kind of find out maybe that they were working with not Pete Davidson. That's what it is. Oh, I knew I recognized this guy from somewhere. He's Pachenko in Death Race.
Working for me?
Which is a far better film. So the way that Seagal knows that the Danes might have been working with Pachenko is he suddenly remembers he was at this runway show and he saw Pachenko and the Dane like nodding to each other.
What if he's involved?
What if you're involved?
That's his connection. But of course, right away, this doesn't lead to anything. In fact, Seagal just lets him live and go on about his business like that's not going to come back to haunt him. So Seagal's like, he has to go back to Warsaw to his father's funeral that's thrown in there, and he meets up with his brother. I don't know why. Wouldn't you believe it? Somehow his brother's tied up in everything. Who would have thought?
Crisscross.
So while he's back attending to his father's funeral, we go back to Pachenko, who is now killing maids for no reason, going back to the guy who hired him, killing him. Everybody, basically all the characters in this film end up dying at some point except for Seagal, because he's Seagal. Like, they just go on a straight out murder sprees for no reason, and I have no idea why. Of course, throughout the film, we get classic Seagal voiceovers, we get the body doubles, we get all the great stuff that we've come to love and adore. And this is in 2003. Like, it's still pretty close to Under Siege. It's like a decade, but he still had like big Hollywood movies. Like, he had Exit Wounds. He was still like a pretty big Hollywood star, but this, like, he just dove right into that BC list movie list, right? Like, this didn't take long at all. There's so many points of this movie that are never explained. Like, we have no idea. There's nothing. There's a guy that meets him at the airport, Seagal, gives him pictures of himself when he was younger, which is weird, right? That's not something you do. He ends up hiring somebody to go kill Seagal later on, and we have no idea why. He just sends some guy to go kill him in the most confusing storyline. Like, soap operas have better storylines than what we're seeing in The Foreigner. He sends the guy to go kill him. The dude checks in under Seagal's name in the hotel, and wouldn't you know it, Pachenko comes back, because it's the only hotel in the world, and finds, Mr. Cold is Seagal's name. He finds Mr. Cold on there. He's like, oh, that must be him. Okay, shoots the lady behind the desk because, like I said, everybody dies for no reason. Goes up. The other guy kills him, but not because, wouldn't you know it, Pachenko comes back. Meanwhile, we have this very convoluted storyline with what was in the package that ends up being a bunch of newspaper clippings and a black box from a plane, because apparently some guy was going to make a bioweapon and somebody was going to rat on him, and he found out, so they shot his plane down. But the guy that shot the plane down to stop him from exposing, that bad guy's wife was actually having an affair with the guy who was going to expose him. And so now she's stuck in the middle of this, and she's trying to get all the pieces to prove that her husband was behind the thing. I'm having a really hard time with this. But at one point, the wife actually makes a lot of sense. Like, she basically sums up the movie. She goes, I don't understand. What if you were just going to give the package, why'd you switch it to begin with?
I don't understand. If you're planning to hand it over, why switch packages in the first place?
Regardless of what you think of my methodology, I'm a consummate professional.
I have no idea. And really, this entire movie could have just been avoided if the bad guy had just mailed the thing. Because it's not like there's anything that would get checked. It was a box of newspaper clippings and film. They could have just mailed the damn thing. They didn't need Seagal to take it to them and then crisscross and backstab, and this guy's with that guy and that guy's this guy. That's the worst part. It's like, it's not even that I just don't understand. It's that they just never explain it. They never explain anything. They just drop in characters, they drop in storylines, and then they don't explain it. They just say, oh, here's this guy. He's going to go try to kill Seagal. And you're just supposed to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, he's going to kill Seagal. That's the extent of it. It makes no sense. Then at one point, the CIA comes into the movie to blow up a barn that Seagal was in. That's never explained. They just kind of show up, plant bombs, and leave. Somehow Pachenko makes it out of there after Seagal beats his ass. This guy dies like 3 times in this movie, and he just keeps coming back.
It was the least I could do after you'd killed me twice.
Sorry about that, but you know, they say three's a charm.
By the end of the film, they're doing like this final assault on the bad guy's mansion, who we still have never met, know nothing about. Seagal had already broken in there once to speak to his wife, and he just kind of lazily hops a fence. It's supposed to be like super guarded, and there's there's an army in there, and that's why at the end he and Pachenko needed to work together to take out everybody. But Seagal was just in there before, and then they just hop over the same part of the fence. Anyways, so now they're working together. Pachenko has his rifle, and he says he only has 6 bullets, but I mean, it's a Seagal film, so it's actually like 16. So Seagal shoots 6 shots, and then they go in and he shoots the rifle again. Like, they have the endless bullet cheat code. It just doesn't make any sense. Nothing about this makes sense.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
So eventually they do make it to the bad guy, and Seagal confronts him and leaves him alive and just walks away. So Pachenko comes in and shoots him. So why the need for if you're just going to kill them, we don't need all the proof then, right? Because that would have just gotten them locked away. Yeah, you would have just sent them to prison if you exposed the truth and what they were doing. But now they're dead. So I'm thinking about this way too much, but it just pisses me off. This is the worst Seagal film we've watched so far. At least the other ones had a semblance of a story. Like, we mocked it relentlessly because it was stupid. I eventually could figure out what was going on. Like this, there's nothing. It's just things that happen and none of it makes sense. Especially the fucking ending. The ending is just Seagal on a boat floating away reading a letter from the lady who I guess doesn't give a fuck that he just helped her. Alright, so I know this has been a lot of rambling, so here we go. Here's going to be a super condensed timeline of what the hell happened. Seagal walks in and gets the job to deliver the package. They suddenly get ambushed for absolutely no reason. Then Seagal gets jumped for absolutely no reason at his apartment and is almost killed. Seagal breaks into the mansion to talk to the wife and try to figure out what the hell is in the package. The same package that he's hid in an abandoned building where he throws a CD bomb and blows the guy up. Then he fake kills Pachenko, talks to the wife again and finally finds out the truth about this bioweapon. Then they have the final assault on the bad guy's mansion with another dumb shootout. And then he karate chop kills Pachenko. And then it's the fucking end. I'm actually kind of angry. I've watched a lot of bad movies in my life. This one like really kind of pisses me off because it's unexplainable. There like things just randomly happen. If you plan on trying to watch something like this, just give it a Google, type in The Foreigner, and just watch the first one that you see. It's a way better movie. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope I tried to explain it the best that I could. I'll see you guys Friday. I don't know if I can keep doing these Seagal movies.